He never allowed the opinions of other people to stop him. He always moved forward in the face of rejection and loss. So how did he do that? So say this with me. If I'm going to move forward, I'm going to face rejection. If I'm going to move forward, I'm going to face loss. The reason most people, and a lot of people that like kind of even the statement that I'm making, people will look down on that or think lightly of that. That's not true. It's because you do nothing. The people that never experience rejection and loss do zero. They stand oh so vacantly, oh so quietly on the sidelines. If you're going to do anything, you're going to get punched in the face, and you're going to experience rejection, and you're going to experience loss. The victorious learn to move forward through rejection and loss. The cowardly remain bound by their fear of rejection and their fear of loss. So they do nothing. But they're no less bound. They experience loss and rejection, but they experience the bondage of fear and rejection because they're bound by the fear. So they too are affected by rejection and loss. They're just bound by fear. That's why people don't move. It's true. Bound by the fear of rejection. Jesus didn't have any issues. How is it? Ready? Do you want to know how to move forward with rejection and loss? Okay, next month I'm going to do a series on rejection and loss. No, I'm sorry. Come on, any more? Do you want to know how to move forward with rejection and loss? All right. Let's go. Number one, right? This is a sidebar off the teaching, but it's right there if we look for it. Jesus had a clear understanding of who he is. He had clarity in his identity. Do you know who you are? They're trying to define him. All of life is trying to define him. Everywhere he goes, everybody's defining him. They're defining him. Voices of definition all around him. His brothers are trying to define him. The priests are trying to define him. The people are trying to define him. He's a good man. He's a lunatic, right? He's got a demon. He's a Samaritan. He's a coward. He likes to hide in Galilee. Everybody was trying to define him. He wouldn't let them. He understood who he is. Who are you? Elevate. Come on. Who are you? You've been here long enough to know. You are sons and daughters of the highest. You are sons. You must know who you are. Sons and daughters of the highest filters your life. I'm a businessman. Wrong. You are a son of the highest who is a businessman. I'm a father. Wrong. You are the son of the highest who is a father. Right? I'm a wife. Wrong. You are the daughter of the highest who is a wife. The identity invoked upon us by the master must become the filter for everything. This is how Jesus knew exactly who he was. He could move through all of the rejection and loss because you don't define me. Right? This is not, I know who I am. You guys don't have a right to tell me who I am. He took all of the stigma. So Jesus took it all. He took on the accusation, born of an unwed mother. He took that accusation on. Born of a teenage mother. He took that accusation. He took it on, but he never allowed it to affect him. He carried our stigma. He carried our identity. And he pushed through with his own. He took it. So you don't have to carry it. Clear understanding of his purpose and direction. So if you want to say, if I want to move through rejection and through loss, I have to understand who and what I am. You just experienced the loss. You know what you say? I'm a son or daughter of the highest. My father's got more. My father loves me, and he has more for me. Yeah, it's true. I got half of you. That's good, right? You got to know who you are. And if you're a son or a daughter, that's your default. My father's rich. He's got plenty. My father's a provider. My father spins planets on his fingers. My father speaks and the deer gives birth. My father commands the rising of the sun. He tells the water not to move and it doesn't move. Right? That's why we're below sea level. Because the Bible says this. He said, Jesus told the water, you don't go any further. And it doesn't go any further. Scientific impossibility. How is it possible that the sea doesn't overtake it? Because the Lord said he will not overtake it. And then he says, figure that one out. How's it possible for a bumblebee to fly? Right? He can't figure this out because Jesus told the bumblebee you can fly. The bumblebee's got you ever seen a bumblebee? It's got really big body, little teeny little legs, you know. And this big, you know, he wants to be like a woo, but he's just like a, that's why the bumblebee can't even fly straight because his wings are too small. But he can fly, huh? And nobody knows why that bee can fly. You can't fly, and he flies. Because Jesus says you can fly, and that bee flies. In spite of all the laws of physics, in spite of all the opinions of the best of them, that bee flies because Jesus told that bee you can fly. Yeah? Nobody like him. Clear sense of identity. Clear sense of knowing who you are and who your Father is. Say with me, my Father loves me. I am favored. I am loved of my Father. I tell myself that weekly at least. Sometimes it's every day. I'm loved of my Father.